Okay. I'm gonna go complete carrying comments off.
Okay. Today is Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. It is 3:09 p.m. and we will be starting the tax sales for two properties listed. We'll be starting with the second one on the tender sheet, described as file number 20-54, roll number 1121 120-020-206-99000. Napanee. Begin with the first tender. As you can see, it's sealed and has listing of the owner as well as the description of the property. Bid has been received on Form 7. And the form is addressed to the treasurer. It is typewritten and fully legible. It does give the full description of the property. And the tender is equal or greater than the minimum tender amount. Do I need to state the amount?
Yeah.
The amount of the tender is $10,100. And the deposit amount does meet the 20% threshold at $2,020. This tender has been accepted. Now opening the second tender. It does identify the address. The envelope is sealed and it indicates that it's for tax sale. I'll now open it. Form 7 is completed. The name on the tender is Chris Barkley. And the tender is addressed to the treasurer. It does describe the property. And the tender amount does meet the minimum threshold of $7,691.69. And it does meet the threshold for the minimum deposit amount with a deposit of $3,000.
How much is the tender for?
The tender is for $7,691.69. Good.
Accepted.
This tender has been accepted. We do have one tender that is not accepted, as it does not indicate that it's for tax sale and it does not have a description of the lands on the envelope. So this tender is not accepted. So we will not be opening it.
That's right.
Moving on to the second tax sale. This is described as file number 20-51. Roll number 1121-120-020 2040000000. I'll now begin opening the tenders. The first tender is in a sealed envelope. It does indicate that it is for tax sale. It does have an identifiable description of the property. I'll now open the tender. The tender Form 7 is completed for the tender and it is legible. It is addressed to the treasurer. The bidder is Abdukar Bacon. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. The tender does describe the property, and the tender is greater than the minimum tender amount. The full tender amount is $71,000, and the deposit amount, which is in check, does meet the 20% threshold at $14,200. This tender has been accepted. Now open the second tender. It is in a sealed envelope. It does indicate that it is for tax sale. And it does have identifiable municipal address or a property address on it. Now open the tender. This tender does have Form 7 completed, and it is legible. It is addressed to the treasurer. It does identify the property address. The bidder is Chris Barkley. It does meet the minimum tender amount threshold of $51,171.26. This is also the tender amount received, so it matches the tender amount matches the minimum amount, which is $51,171.26. And the deposit is compliant. It does meet the 20% threshold at $15,000. This bid is accepted. So the third bid, it is in a sealed envelope. It does indicate that it is for tax sale. And it does have an identifiable description of the land or the property. Now open the tender. The tender does have Form 7 completed and it is legible. It is addressed to the treasurer. It does have the identifiable address listed on it. And this bid is from Emily Greer.
Who's that also?
Greer is spelled Greer. This bid does meet the minimum tender amount. It is $76,000. It's the full tender amount. And the deposit does meet the $20,000 threshold, the deposit being $16,000. This tender is accepted. This is our final received tender. It does list, sorry, the envelope is sealed. It does list the address on it and it does state that it is for tax sale. We'll now open the envelope. It does have, this tender does have Form 7 completed. It does have it addressed to the treasurer. It does have an identifiable address. And the property, or sorry, the tenderer is Vashi Shijat. I apologize if I've mispronounced that. Do you need the spelling on that? Vashi, last name Shehjad. This tender does meet the minimum tender requirement, with the tender being $52,786. $52,786.10. If you need me to repeat that, let me know. The 20% deposit is met, with the deposit being $10,786.22. So it does meet the 20% threshold. This tender has been accepted. Just to double check.
There's not another one beside it, or we need it back, just to make sure.
Okay. So you want me to open this?
Yeah,
Okay.
just to make sure there's no number on it.
So we are going to be opening the tender that did not have a legal description on it, just to ensure that there isn't another envelope within it that does comply. So I'm just opening that now. There is not another envelope inside of it. There's just Form 7, so this tender will not be accepted as stated. So, the tax sale has been completed. The successful bidders will be notified, and unsuccessful bidders will receive their deposits back via mail. Thank you.